Welcome to this video with me, Dr. Williamson, in which I'm going to take a further look at the European Fortune 500 2023 database by creating and analysing a series of ratios that I've derived, or we can derive, from the basic data which you see in front of me now on the screen. Let me just zoom in a little bit. If you saw the first video, you know that we're dealing with country, rank, name, revenues, revenue percent change from last year to this, profits percent change, same, last year to this year, assets and employees. There's 500 rows of data and there are 24 different countries in this European database. Without any further ado, let's go to the ratios. Here we are. So it's the same database, sorted now by the country, and what we find is Austria has 11 companies, Belgium has 11, Britain has 76. That's not the point anymore. What's the point is over on the right hand side, the gold headed columns derived from here. Let's find out how. Profit percentage, F2 divided by D2, profits as a percentage of revenues, the profit margin. Asset turnover, D2, revenues divided by H2, assets. ROTA, return on total assets, it's the profit, F2 divided by H2, the assets. Sales divided by employee, revenue divided by number of employees, and profit divided by number of employees. All right, there we are, for 500. My ambition now is to use the country information to enhance the ratio analysis, because there's nothing wrong with these ratios, but they're a bit flat. You say, oh, well, look, the first company has a profit margin of 5.95, then 5.78. Well, good, nothing wrong with it, nothing wrong with any of these ratios, but I've done the following. Firstly, I've used the unique function to interrogate column A, which is the country column, and found, as I mentioned, there are 24 countries. There are 24 countries named in this database, and there they are, from Austria down to Turkey. What's the difference between what you see on the right-hand side, what's on the left-hand side? I want to know the average profit for Austria, the average profit for Belgium, maximum, minimum, and standard deviation of profit by country. Asset, average turnover, max turnover, min, standard deviation. The same with return on total assets, the same with sales divided by employee, and profit divided by employee. If I show you one of these, I'll show you all of them. So let's have a look at it then. To find the average profit for each country, I use the average ifs function, J2, J501, average ifs, J2, J501, A2, A501, P2 hash. What are they? Let's find out. In column J, we have the profit margin. In column A, you know that's the name of the country, and then P2 hash. Because I use the unique function here deliberately so that this is a dynamic array function, and when I use P2 hash, I'm going to demonstrate it fills down automatically in this way. Let me demonstrate how I can use the average ifs function by deleting what's in that column and creating the average ifs function from the beginning, to show you the way in which the dynamic array function element of the formula works. So average ifs, the average range, that's column J, the values of profit, comma, then the criteria range, just press the home key and go to A2, Austria, all the way down to row 501, Turkey, comma, and then which result am I looking for? And the answer is, let me go backwards and forwards like this. The answer is, I want to find the average profit margin for Austria. But then I also want it for Belgium, Britain, Bulgaria, all the way down to Turkey. And to do that, I simply add the hash symbol. Did you see immediately that the country names spilled to fill the area? Close bracket, press enter, boom. They all do that. Just make sure you've got the formulae. You can just about see it in the formula bar. Let's highlight it. Max ifs, otherwise J2, A2, P2 hash, max ifs that is. Min ifs, J, A, P2 hash, the same. But the standard deviation, there's no function called stdiv ifs. So I have to deal with this one a little bit differently. And in this way, I use the filter function, I wrap around it, the standard deviation function, and then I wrap around that the if error function. If you try to put P2 hash in this one, it won't work. It doesn't like it. So let's do this one from scratch. Equals if error stdev.s. .s because even though you say it's the whole 500, it's part of an infinite universe of financial ratios. So I take the view that it's still a sample. And then the filter function as follows. So what's the array? I'm only doing profit, so it's the same as before with the ifs functions. I only want to interrogate column J, and then remember, press the home key. I want to interrogate it by country, where the country equals what's in which cell, and it's this one, P2. Let's try the hash symbol. So let's close it out now. Filter, standard deviation, comma. I need to close out if error properly, and I always do it this way. Double inverted comma, dash, double inverted commas. Press enter now, see what happens. And it says nothing. If I take that hash symbol away, press enter, so that's not going to work in this context. So that's the only downside to this standard deviation. It's not dynamic, so we'll have to do it that way. No great hardship. It's the only one. And then after that, I'm quite confident that having followed what I've done in these 4 columns, you can now do the same, bearing in mind that profit was in column J, assets are in column K, return on total assets in column L, and so on. And it's just a matter of repeating. That's it. That's the first part of this video. Finished. Then I thought it'd be interesting to see how the values are ranked. So let's have a look at that then. We know, for example, that this is the Fortune 500 for Europe based on revenues. The larger the revenue, the nearer you are to the top of the 500. So what I did was, well, there's the rankings given to us anyway, but see what I did. I used the RANK.EQ formula function. It returns the rank of a number on a list of numbers, its size relative to other values. But when I interrogated them using the RANK.EQ function, D2, what's in D2? In D2 is the revenue for the first company, and then D2, D501, notice the $, it's the profit for all companies in the database, and press enter, and it will fill down. Let's do that. Let's do the rank of profits. I'll get rid of it and put it back. Equals rank.EQ. And this time the number is profits, so it's in F2. And then we can type this F$2 colon F$501, isn't it? And we don't need the order, it's by default. Click OK. And there we are, number one. Just check that it is 501. And then because we've already got that series there, click. And we find that Shell has the highest rank revenue and the highest rank profit. But after that, immediately, we find that company 2, rank 2 for revenues, 13 for profits. Look at number 3, rank 3 for revenues, but 500 for profits. And there's, just look down, rank 6, rank 10 for revenues, and look at their profit rankings. You've got those two now. Do the same for rank of assets and the rank of employees. And you can see 1, 1, 31, 100, 2, 13, 26, 2, and all the way down. Last one, 500, 348, 390, 426. What can we do with that now? What kind of chart is it? Right click on it, change chart type, and find out that it's a 100% stacked column chart. Over here, what I did, I created a correlation matrix by rank, by those rank orders that I've just created, and I found that the correlation between rank revenues and rank profits is 0.49, 0.63, and so on and so on. Then I did it by values. I did it again, this time by these values that you see in this table here. By the way, I've used the Coral function for this rather than the data analysis toolpack. So Coral D2 D501, F2 F501 to give you the correlation coefficient of rank revenues against rank profit values. And interestingly, 0.49, 0.534, 0.63, 0.295. So now we can see that when we take rank into account, we get a different view on the relationship between the variables. There we are. That's my view of ratios, rank, with me, Dr. Williamson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.